over and says, are your bylaws kosher, whatever that means? You know, are they up to snuff, whatever that means? As far as I can tell, our bylaws are up to snuff. And if we had to change our bylaws in order to appease Contra Costa County, I don't know if that's a good word, but you know what I mean, I'd bring it back to the membership. No, I don't change bylaws. The membership changes bylaws.
I have an opinion.
Okay.
Who's that?
This is Ron.
Oh, okay.
Suggesting that we do apply for Contra Costa County also. Part of the goal of this club is to lead in many areas, and part of our ability to lead is to have some influence. And it doesn't hurt to be recognized and to strengthen our position and our visibility by being chartered in both counties.
What the hell? I'm in agreement. Is there anybody else here that has something to say on this issue?
Well, I'm just wondering, are there any other clubs in southern Contra Costa County?
The closest one is the San Ramon Club, which meets around the corner from my house at the Contra Costa, at the Crow Canyon Country Club. Okay. And they're chartered for San Ramon, Danville, Alamo, but
Contra
they have
Costa, yeah.
But they have members all over the place. And in case you don't know it, Brody and I and Rick Adler, who's her vice president, are very close friends, and our clubs work together. We don't compete. At one time, there was a feeling that was a competition between the clubs, and I've worked very hard to eliminate that. We work together with other clubs. And as you know, our event bulletin promoted the San Ramon Club's meetings and events, and many of the other club events. It's proof that we're all on the same team with the same kind of goals. So,
yeah, I have an additional comment on that. Brody is also a member of our club.
Right.
And we're members of her club.
We are members of her club,
well,
and I shoot video and provide on my website video for their meetings. So we do work hand in glove on a number of issues and a number of ways, and it's really a wonderful, mutually beneficial relationship.
In fact, the resolution that we passed last month about corporate perpetrators, Brody's Club is rewriting it, and engineer, who's a Santa Clara County DA in Brody's Club, apparently is lawyerizing it, legalizing it, turning it into legalese. So you're right, we're absolutely on the same page for many of these things.
Alice, I agree with Ron that it doesn't hurt to extend the influence and be a part of the bigger area. So I also agree with that.
Good. So now the executive board, although Bob hasn't spoken.
I'm for it.
I'm afraid it's going to piss Robin off.
Well, I will ask Robin first. You know, if you ask somebody first.
That's what I think you should do.
Well, I mean, I will ask her before we jump to do it, but I'm going to ask for the club's opinion, and I'm going to call for a voice vote when this discussion is over. Somebody else have something? Anybody else have an opinion on this?
Bob, what do you think?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it.
Could we all unmute and all in favor just say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just me.
Sharon. Okay. So it's the opinion of the club that number one step, I will go to the Alameda County Central Committee and tell them we would like to apply for charter in Contra Costa, and the number two step is applying for charter in Contra Costa. actually, before the number one step is verifying in the roster that we have 20 people in Contra Costa.
Okay.
But I think we can do that. Okay?
It's-
And I can call up some former members and get them to join. So, I think we were one short the last time I counted, but we'll see. Okay, let's move on the agenda. Financial report by Bob Naylor.
Okay, very good. Not much happened last month. We've had some people that renewed their membership so they could vote last meeting. So we did that. We had a couple new members. So we're up now to 95 members. We were, I think, at 88 last meeting, which was just a couple weeks ago. So that's good. And we have a bank balance of $4,238.55.
Oh, I think we ought to think about how we can have an impact with that kind of money. And I frankly don't have a suggestion right now, but we have we have a good portion of the members here. So think about that, folks, and bring back some suggestions as to how we could legitimately spend the money. But remember, we aren't a PAC, and we can't give it directly to a candidate's campaign. We can give it to other PACs. In the past, we've given it to the Tri-Valley United Democratic Campaign, but I'm not even sure they exist or what they do. So think about that.
Yeah, we can give it to the California Democratic Party.
Any objection to accepting the minutes? Thank you. Minutes from the June meeting. I have them here, Aparna. As soon as I can get on this page. Come on, be good.
Getting there.
Okay, there's the beginning, there's the summary.
Do I have to read it, or it's there for people to see and approve?
Well, I'm just putting it up on the screen, but it'll go up in two parts. We can see that we got about $200 more since that meeting. Martha Krieger and Earl Johnson spoke about campaign activities, and we passed the resolution unanimously. I brought the resolution to the Contra Costa Central Committee, and the chair decided that he didn't like it embedded in an email and wanted it as a Word document or a PDF, so he stalled me off for another month, but I will submit it again. Let me see. The rest of this stuff is kind of factual, and let's see. And the bottom line was that we endorsed Moni, Sabina, and Luz. And next meeting was undecided at that point, and the location was Zoom, and here we are. So any changes or exceptions to the minutes?
No.
Okay, seeing none, I think we accept the minutes. Thank you.
Looks good. I second the motion.
Oh, okay, so we'll do a motion to accept the minutes. All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. I'm glad I heard Aparna in there.
I
Okay,
did. I said yes.
yeah, I said, I'm glad I heard. 2 minutes with Mark Fickus. Mark, did you
Hi
finish
there.
eating?
It's nice to see you. It's hard to believe that I think the last time I saw all of.
Can we kill the share page while Mark is speaking?
Yeah, I'll do
Yes,
that.
please. Get rid of it.
There you go.
There we go. Well, it's hard to believe that I think the
Now we're
last
in
time I
the-
saw all of you was at your holiday party in December, and how much the world has changed since
Could
then.
everybody mute themselves before he starts? Thank you.
We good to go? So yeah, I was just trying to say quickly, it's amazing how much the world has changed since I saw you all in December at the holiday party and where we are now. And actually, that's kind of how I wanted to jump into this, which is to say that I'm running for Superior Court judge because I'm an optimist at heart, and I believe in the power of people to vote and to drive change. And no matter how dark things seem right now, change is always possible when we get out and we exercise our rights to vote. So what do I mean by that? We hear a lot of what's wrong with the justice system nowadays. I would note that going back to when we had Pete Wilson as our governor, there was a trend of always appointing criminal attorneys to the bench that continued through Duke Majan and even into Jerry Brown. And as a result, we have out of our 72 judges, the overwhelming majority of judges who have practiced either most of or their entire career in criminal law. And while that's an admirable profession, one of the reasons we've seen no change is we haven't changed the type of people we are making judges. And so I hope to be a vote and a voice for change. You know, I think we all want to talk about how we believe in diversity and fairness and justice. But what I'd like to talk about very briefly in my 2 minutes is how those aren't just empty words for me, but things that I've devoted my career to achieving on behalf of my clients. I started my career by protecting women who had been victimized in relationships, who were victims of domestic violence, protecting women and children who were sexually assaulted. I spent a number of years in my career protecting investors who had had their life savings stolen from them. And for the past 9 years, I've been in private practice, mostly working as a civil rights lawyer, protecting the rights of the people often who get overlooked by the system. And so quickly, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. I've just finished up a 6-year-long legal battle representing a Laotian refugee who lived up in Lake County. The county didn't like him, so they sent some nuisance abatement officers to his property. And rather than clean up a few pieces of garbage, they stole everything he owned, they sold it, and they painted a swastika on his front door. I fought that case for 5 years in front of judges that did not look like or have any kind of sympathy for this kind of a person. And when we picked a jury in that case, we were able to get justice. Another example of a case I fought for that was just resolved in our favor, I fought for a woman who was in the San Francisco City Attorney's Office who dared to expose fraud in that very same office, and that fraud involved people who were very politically powerful. We took that case to trial and we won, and we got justice for a whistleblower. I'm currently representing the first openly LGBT Asian American woman who serves as an assistant fire chief in San Francisco in due process hearings. She dared to blow the whistle on parties in the fire department where people were drinking and using cocaine while on duty. And her reward for doing something that benefited the public is they constantly try to punish her by imposing fake discipline on her and trying to make her take days off. And we're fighting that fight for her. I'm representing another LGBTQ firefighter in San Francisco who's also facing discrimination. And so what my point being is, I don't just talk about how I want to bring a sense of justice and fairness and compassion to the judiciary in Alameda County. I have a career of doing exactly that over the past 25 years. And I'd like to close, because I'm mindful of my time and your full agenda, and that this is your second meeting of the night. I'd like to close by saying, too, that I think a number of people in the county, in Alameda County, recognize those traits in me. And so first, I want to thank this club for its endorsement of me, first and foremost. But I've also been endorsed by the California Democratic Party, the Alameda County Democratic Party, individually by various club members who I see on the screen, like Jackie is here tonight and some others. I've also been endorsed by Sean Kumagai. I see our candidate Valerie Arkin is here, who's endorsed me. And I've also been as importantly, I've been endorsed by dozens of civil rights attorneys, workers' rights attorneys, and judges, not just in Alameda County, but throughout the state of California, who recognize that I have, throughout my 25 years, been a voice for change in the legal system and a voice for fairness and justice for all. And so I thank the club again for its support. I thank Ellis for inviting me and giving me another 2 minutes to speak to you all again. And I hope that the next time that we all get together again, we can do that in person, because like I said at the beginning, I'm an optimist and I believe that that day is going to come soon. So thank you all very much for your time, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Your story made me think of a Silicon Valley saying, which is, let no good deed go unpunished.
Absolutely.
Okay, I need to get back to the agenda in order to know what to do next. But is it this one?
I don't know.
I think no,
And
that's not the one.
I want to see who's more people that are here
Okay,
too.
it's this one.
I don't know. Yeah.
There it is. There's
Okay,
the agenda.
I need to
Okay, am I on the agenda yet? Can everybody see that?
No.
No, there's nothing
No.
there.
Okay,
Does log in
hit
with
share
Google.
screen then.
There we
I
go.
guess. Now
Oh,
I'm
now
on
it's
there.
people's. It's all the
Yeah,
people's.
It was the wrong screen you shared. Go ahead and try again.
Okay, so now to share screen, and it's this one.
Okay.
Okay,
And I want to see people.
Sharon, we're gonna have to get another computer.
Yeah, or a bigger
Okay.
monitor.
We're up to the endorsement process, and what I would like to do, since Valerie is running for city council, and the other two are running, well, Valerie, yeah, is running for city council in Pleasanton, and the other ones are in San Ramon. I'm thinking of Valerie making her opening statement and taking a few possibly Pleasanton-specific questions directly to her, then have the other two candidates make their opening statements and have more San Ramon-specific questions aimed at them. So let's go with that. Valerie Arkin, you still with us?
I'm here, Ellis.
Okay, you ready? You pumped?
I'm pumped. Okay, tell me when to go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Stop
Let me
sharing.
see all the people.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. My name is Valerie Arkin, and I am running for a seat on the Pleasanton City Council this November. I am a current school board member in Pleasanton and have been on the board for 12 years. I was a library commissioner in Pleasanton as well for 8 years. I'm a 27-year resident of Pleasanton, and I have raised my 3 children here. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Health Science, and I have an MBA degree. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I've been a Tri-Valley Democratic Club member for over 14 years. I've been on the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee for about 11 years. I have always been accessible and responsive to community input and feedback, and I always take the time to listen and engage the public. I am a believer in protecting the environment, and as such, I will advocate for protecting our scenic hillsides. I am also interested in ensuring our safe drinking water supply. There have been recent issues with the PFAS or PFAS, a known carcinogen found in one of our drinking water wells. I'm interested in exploring ways to prevent this from happening again, as well as looking at other ways to protect the health of our residents. Supporting our award-winning educational system is paramount. I will advocate for strengthening the partnership between the city and the school district in order to continue our high-quality education system that has been the pride of our city. Our historic downtown is another priority of mine, and I will advocate for preserving our small town charm. I'm also an advocate of addressing the police policies in our city and having open communication and transparency as we move forward. I spoke to this issue at a recent council meeting and will continue to advocate for addressing this issue. Finally, but very importantly, I believe that the city should plan for our residents and businesses post-COVID. Exploring ways to help residents that need assistance, as well as our small businesses that are enduring hardships during this pandemic, is something that our city needs to be actively engaging in as we move forward in this new normal. Again, I have a BS degree in health science, and I've studied public health and epidemiology at the university level. I also have an MBA, so I understand financial ramifications of this pandemic and can explore innovative solutions. As a side note, I have made a pledge to not accept developer donations in order to avoid any conflict of interest. I believe my experience and background, along with my priorities, makes me an excellent candidate for the Pleasanton City Council. Please visit votevaleriearkin.com, and I respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you.
Sorry, I muted myself. the way we did this at the last meeting is the way I'm going to do it at this meeting. I get to ask the first question, and I already sent that question to Valerie and Sridhar and Samira. The question is, and Valerie started to chip away at the answer just now, why are you best suited to sit on the city council in light of the COVID crisis that we're in? What makes you a good choice for that? Valerie.
Okay, well, I did kind of address it in my opening here, but I think I'm one of the reasons that sets me apart from the other candidates. I do have an educational background in health science. Like I said, I've studied public health, I've studied epidemiology. I can understand those issues. I also have an MBA, so I have a master's in business. And I think that is a great background to have for exploring ways that we try to, assist small businesses, assist our residents. The city has started to do a little with that, but I want to see us explore more ways that we can address it and help our community.
Hey, who has a question for Valerie? Raise your hand.
I've got one.
Okay, Bob, and Bob will pick the next person to ask the question.
Okay. Hey, Valerie. Really quick, can you dive a little bit more into the policing? Because I know it's a hot topic now in the city council. My wife's involved in that. And what your opinions are about, defunding, basically taking money from the police to other services in the community.
Well, I definitely think that's something we need to look at. It's been a hard road with the current city council in addressing this issue. Most of them, absolutely the majority at least, have not been interested in exploring this at all. Right. And it took the murder of George Floyd to bring some attention to this matter, as well as having, when we have the big planned protest here. And I know Gail has spoken at the city council meeting, so have I, advocating for, I advocated first for, we need to listen to the community. The community needs to be heard, and they need to give us the opportunity to do that. And we need to really look at policies that our police have, because I've been hearing conflicting information with the 8 can't wait. I had heard at first some council members saying that, yeah, our police policies, we adhere to those. Well, I found out we don't. Our Pleasant Police does not. So there's just not enough transparency either. The city council also, I found out, never gets any report on our police department, ever. The city manager is the only one that gets that. That concerns me. So I think that has to change. And if I'm on the city council, I will definitely be a council member that advocates for looking at that. And we need to address this. It's long overdue.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else who has a question? Let's see anything in the chat. Do I just pick somebody?
I think maybe we'll have a quicker night tonight. I see that we have, let's see, 4x5. We have 21 windows on the screen, and there are 2 double headers in that, so that gives us 23. But I'm not sure that everybody on this is a member. Is there anybody here? Who's DG?
I don't know.
Anybody know who DG is? DG, unmute yourself and tell us who you are, please. Okay.
You might want to unmute him, Ellis, just in case he's not sure, or he or she isn't
I
sure.
can ask to unmute.
Okay. Well,
I asked to unmute, but no response.
okay. Well, okay. We can actually take a vote by going around the screen, considering that everybody's on the screen. Your votes are yes, endorse, no, don't endorse, no vote.
Hey, Bob,
Well,
I have 15 yeses and 2 abstains.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So that would be 100% because the abstain doesn't count, does it?
Right.
Okay.
So she got
100%.
an unanimous decision. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay, good.
Thanks again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This
Now,
is
I
going
don't
well.
see
Thank you,
Samara
Valerie.
here.
Thank
I
you.
don't see Samara. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Sridhar, you're on. A few minutes, 5 minutes, telling us who you are, and then I'll ask the same question I asked Valerie. Go for it.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Alice. Hi, my name is Sridhar Veroz. My first name pronounced as Sri, like in Sri Lanka. Sridhar. My last name Veroz, very straight. And I'm running for the new District 3 seat on the San Ramon City Council. And about my professional career, I'm a senior manager. I manage global cloud operations with OpenText. And I have a master's degree in software engineering from San Jose State University. My wife and I have lived in the area of the city that is now included in District 3 for 15 years. And have raised our 2 children here. Both of them attend public schools in our district within San Ramon. And regarding my community services, I have been involved in San Ramon community services for the past 12 years. I'm currently chair and have been a member of San Ramon City Parks and Community Services Commission for 4 years. I'm one of the founders of San Ramon Cricket Association, a founding member and a steering committee member of San Ramon Diversity Coalition, and a core committee member of San Ramon Culture in Community event. So I have moved to San Ramon in 2005, and in early 2008, while I used to just play with my friends some sport like cricket. I don't know if many of you know about that. But then a lot of people ask me, how come a IT guy who's like in IT profession got into this community services, right? So here is a story I would like to share about some incidents, right? So while I was playing cricket with my friends in neighborhood, one of our neighborhood grounds, cops were called to evacuate us from the ground, citing that we were not following the city field users guidelines. Wow. So that prompted me to go to city office, and as per their guidelines, I have worked with them and founded non-profit organization, San Ramon Cricket Association, and formed a league and started playing cricket as per city guidelines. And then in 2010, I have received a letter from San Ramon PCS Commission to attend a hearing on a petition filed by neighbors of cricket ground. So frankly, before that, I didn't know what is commission and council, like it's 2010 that time. So during the commission hearing, I was surprised to hear the comments from petitioners. Comments like, we are scared of you guys. And somebody said like, who know you may be a child abductor, stuff like that, you know. So that's when I have realized that, hey, things are not same as they look within the community. So we have a beautiful community, but then I realized there are some undercurrent issues that I definitely need to work on that one. So that prompted me that to start working with the community and inviting the community members into our events and cultural activities. That way we could bring them more information about our culture, and also that helped us to assimilate much further. So things started working pretty good, and during that period, Mayor Clarkson used to help us with his attending our multicultural events, post-charity events, and he used to always help us in many requests that I used to ask him for, but especially for the community purpose. So at one time, I used to keep on bothering him with all these requests for the resources and all that. He said like, hey, Sridhar, you're always on other side of the podium of policy taking. You know what, it is time for you to step up towards policy making side of podium. So I was like, oh, wow, this is like, I don't have much idea about civic governance, and I'm pretty busy with my career and family. So I said, maybe I need to think about it, and I just disappeared at that time. But then there was an incident took place where we were playing in the ground again. then we were having some discussions with one of the field users. Suddenly this person rushed into the ground and started screaming at us. And we all are adults, homeowners, taxpayers with all respectful jobs. And the youth team were watching while this is happening. And this, like, that person literally like loudly screamed that, "Go back to where you came from." And then she just started saying things. So, well, that incident didn't help me much for me to keep quiet anymore, right? So, because especially I grew up in a family with strong civil liberties leadership. And that is when I decided I need to step up into civic governance and be part of policy making like Mayor Clarkson's advice. And I know I had to sacrifice my personal time and my career growth in this process. But then somebody need to step up, and I believe that it is the right thing to do. So first thing I did, join into Leadership San Ramon Valley 1-year graduation program, learned about civic governance because I strongly believe in learning. So I learned first. And then in 2016, I joined San Ramon Parks and Community Services Commission. I got to learn a lot about city during this period and also about Tri-Valley. And the best experience that I got is about our PCS, Parks and Community Services 10 years master plan update that I did with our team of commission. It gave me a fantastic experience and opportunity to learn a lot about how to create a roadmap for our community. So now I'm running, coming back to now I'm running for city council because I believe that San Ramon is a very good city in which to live, raise a family, work, and to be committed to. In the past, its city leaders have done a good job in guiding the growth and finances of our city. You know, we don't have much problems in our city actually. Like when I ask people like, hey, can you please tell me what are the issues and problems? There are problems like, and improvements that we can do, but nothing like serious issues that people can tell me about it. So, and also our public park system is outstanding. And one more thing, beauty of San Ramon is the open space. No other city in the area has done more to acquire and preserve public open space for its residents like we did. So, but then our city leadership is changing. At least one current council member and the mayor are leaving public office next year. So this is coming 2020. And new people with experience and commitment to the city will be needed. I believe that my experience in our community and as a current member of the City Parks and Community Services Commission have given me the knowledge, experience, and foresight to help guide the city forward, to meet our current challenges and opportunities, and have demonstrated my commitment to the city. So I believe in community-based solutions. So where the elected officials constantly meet and have conversations with residents, discuss their concerns, and then work with them to find the solutions. So I'll be working closely with our community as well as each and every neighborhood, work and listen to them and address their challenges. And I'll continue to provide the same quality of life that we are enjoying today, and also will pass the same, will continue to enjoy the same quality as well as will pass the same to our future generations. So please support me, endorse me for this role. I'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I seem to be growing something in my head from a flare.
Maybe it's hair.
Yeah. Am I unmuted? Okay, I'm unmuted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's the question that I asked Valerie, but you didn't set up an answer as she did. I guess you didn't go to school for immunology. Anyhow, the question is, what makes you well suited to deal with the post-COVID world? You know, in March or February, we went into a new age. And the way we behave, the way we do things. And what do you bring to that party in that any city is going to need exceptional leadership over and beyond what used to be required to deal with the situation?
Yeah, so one thing we are learning from COVID-19 is all these years, whatever the human technology advancements that were done, they were pretty slow down at one point. And I know it is very unfortunate that we have this COVID-19, but then one thing it brought into our human evolution process is to a rapid increase in technology. So with my background in the technology, in combination of my community services experience, like I have 25 years of technology experience and I have 12 years of community service experience, I will be definitely working to see how we can blend them together and roll out so that we can bring more community-based decision making. Like I want to see where the community is going to be part of and get more educated about what we are working on, the different city policies or decision makings that are critical and going to impact them. So that's one thing I'll be definitely focus on. And also the bigger challenges that we are going to face is on finances. So at this point, like pretty much all our budget situations are pretty fluid. And until we get out of this COVID-19, we don't know our revenue situation. So I'll be working with our leadership as well as within Tri-Valley leadership so that we can improve our economical situation within the whole region by bringing more job opportunities, especially the it can be information technology, it can be any other jobs that we can bring in into this region. So I can work on that and improve the revenues within the city, and which in turn can help us to improve the quality of lives within our communities.
Thank you. I would have liked Samira to, well, she's not here, so there's not much I can do about that. Sean, I can see your face. Do you have a question? No, I guess he's.
Ask anybody whether they have questions.
Is
No
anybody
questions.
who's on the screen? Who does? I heard it, but I didn't see it.
Anybody have a question?
That was Sean saying
This
no.
is Sean. I have no
Yeah, you
questions.
do have a question. Okay, go for it, Sean.
No,
And you get to pick
I'm
away.
just saying. I'm just saying I don't have. This is like a comedy. I'm just saying I don't have any questions.
So that is your question. Yeah.
I take that as a
But it's
compliment.
very nice to see you all, and I'm sorry I was running a little bit late.
Yeah, and you missed the announcement. Rebecca's going to be speaking to the club on the 11th.
Oh, wonderful.
How's
I'll
that?
let her know.
Yeah, well,
I like your background.
I like the background. Does anybody have a question for Sridhar?
Well, I'll just throw the same question I did for Valerie. What do you think about the movement to, fix the policing in the area and in San Ramon and whatnot?
San Ramon is one of the safest city, voted as the safest city within California. That definitely our San Ramon police should get that credit for working hard and keeping that. And in the same time, I totally understand the social economical reasons for the demand to different police department across the nation, right? So like, for example, historically, police department built up and the militarization started since Fugitive Slave Act 1793, where hunters were allowed to capture slaves and return them to their owners for rewards. Unfortunately, that culture creeped into our police department and it continues to evolve still. It's still there. It's so sad. But then so certainly defund and reforms need to happen for police department where this culture still persists. So I personally say that the cities which are getting impacted, especially like, for example, if you see the budgets in the New York City or some other major cities, they have huge budgets for police departments, which doesn't make any sense. Why? Like when the crime rate is still not growing up, as well as when your population is not growing, why you are continuously increasing that budgets? That they need to really look into that. But fortunately in San Ramon, we don't have such cultural issues. As I said, our city is very safe and we all support our police department. being said that, I definitely want to make sure that we continuously have a community oversight team which can keep on continuously, like where they can review, because in like I come from software company, right, where we do regular reviews to fix the bugs. So when we see the bugs, we need to go fix it. So for that process should be always there. If you ask me, every department should have that, where we should have an oversight committee review and provide recommendations, what are going right, what are going wrong, so that's important to do that review and continue to improve the police services for our community.
Sounds good. Jackie, did you have a question? I saw you had a hand raised.
I guess I was just going to kind of ask to tag on to that same questioning. The city of Livermore also kind of assumed that there was no problem until they started talking to the citizens. And what they found is that it was actually the own neighbors and stuff that made a lot of people feel unsafe and being called, having the police called on them for no reason. So would you be open to a law that punishes those who file false claims or call the police falsely?
Oh yeah, definitely. See, that's my whole model of my governance is going to be community-based decision making. So in past, whenever we need to communicate with our residents or citizens, it is like pretty challenging, right? But now it's not anymore. Now, like for example, I send a text, I get like text in few minutes, or in my social media, people ask me the questions. So the things change so much because of this technology. We should be able to leverage the technology. We should be able to communicate with our residents directly, without any intermediate process procedures. And that way we can get more information what's happening. And definitely we should look at if there is a false claims, like somebody is just calling to harass someone, that we should take it seriously and take appropriate actions. I totally agree on that.
Thank you.
Hey, Jackie, you get to pick somebody else. John Rowe may have a question about labor, just as a hint.
Okay, John.
You're on mute.
John, you got to unmute yourself. No, John, you got to unmute yourself.
I got it.
Oh, yeah. Unmute yourself again. You're muted.
How's that?
Perfect.
It's about time. God, I've been working on this since the start of the meeting. Damn. Anyway, I'm not aware of any particular labor issues in the city of San Ramon, but I can tell you, I'm a member of Service Employees International Union Local 2015. We don't deal with the city because they aren't involved in our activities. We deal with counties and state and the feds, because we deal with primarily home health care and nursing homes. On the other hand, that always brings up the question of the police unions in San Ramon. How much power do they really have in terms of codifying within their collective bargaining agreement their protections to keep them safe and sound?
So yes, we do have our police union, and they do bargaining, and there is definitely an uptick of 1.6 billion this year of budget for police department. That definitely something we need to look at it and see that we don't keep increasing that level of our budget allocations to police department as such. But one thing unique about San Ramon is about like majority of the police force is on the line of retirement pretty soon. So we may be losing a lot of police force at one point, like within this few years, we may even like lose at least 25% to 30%.
Yeah, I haven't lived in San Ramon in about 15 years. It was a good move, stop using the county sheriffs and going to a city police force of city police officers. Because frankly, I do not have a good opinion of the sheriff department at all.
Yes, we had a lot of challenges, right? That's the reason we moved. And also, in fact, right now our dispatch, it used to be, the dispatch used to be county, through the county, but now we have our own dispatch center.
Good.
And like I talk to my community pretty regularly on various calls and various, like they always give me the feedback, and most of them, they support our San Ramon Police Department. Because
have you taken any money from the police union?
Did I take any money from police union?
Yes.
No, I didn't take any money from police union.
Will you take any money from them?
From our San Ramon Police Department, no, I'm not going to take from that union. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to support them, but I'll support them.
It's a different question.
Yeah.
You know, they buy time, just like any contributions do.
John, you get to pick the next questioner.
Oh my goodness.
You don't have any, oh no.
Yeah, because I've been kind of in and out because I've been taking care of Sue.
Yeah, well, does anybody else have a question?
No, I'm pretty much impressed and have been voting yes as well as I could be by waving a hand or giving a thumbs up on stuff.
Yeah, you did good.
To clear things up, I know that you're running against Samara Rashwad, who, for whatever reason, didn't show up. And I should tell the membership that I spoke to her on the phone, not a text message, a voice-to-voice conversation, and told her about this meeting. And she said, sure, I'd show up. And it's not here.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make that clear. Is there anybody else running against you in District 3?
So let me start with the current incumbent council member, Phil Olone. He's not running, and he's my mentor. Basically, he said, with this diversified community, it is right choice that you run for this election. So it's great that my fellow Democratic member, he is supporting
what
me
about
and
a
mentoring.
Republican or not Democrat candidate? Are there any others?
Like as of now, I saw that there is one person who pulled the papers, but otherwise I don't know anybody else.
Okay, so that one person other than Samara.
There is, yes. So
okay, I just want to get the number straight. So if we endorse you, we're endorsing a Democrat. One of the problems that exists for Democrats anyway in San Ramon is several Democrats running for the same seat against the sole Republican. And although we may have a plurality of registered voters, the algebra of it doesn't go in our favor, if you will, or the calculus of it, whatever you choose. But there's nothing you can do about that. You have opponents. People decide to run for office. They take money from their friends and family first, and it's very hard to go back on running for office because it might cause a Republican to win because more than one Democrat is running for that office.
That's right.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Sridhar?
I'm fine.
Okay, so like the last vote, I'm just going to go around the screen. That was the discrepancy.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 14 for, 1 against, and 2 abstentions. So we easily have
93%.
Very good.
93 is more than 60, so it passes.
Last time I looked, it was more than 60. And
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Congratulations, Sridhar.
I appreciate it.
What I'll ask of you and Valerie, although Valerie, you sent me a press release, right, Valerie?
No, I did not yet. I will get one.
Okay. I would like to work up a press release and basically what I did last month was put in a little picture, like a thumbnail of the candidate and something about the candidate. What I would like you to do is write about maybe 50 to 100 words about why the club endorsed you, and it should say why somebody should support you, give you money, campaign for you, and vote for you.
Like sitting on.
It'll go out with a list of the other candidates that we've endorsed, but I will just have sort of those bio statements, if you will, from the two of you. So when you send it to me, give me a phone call, say it's there. I'll look it over, I'll fit it into our format. And in case you didn't know it, we sent a press release out on the resolution that we passed last month, and we got a nice story in the Livermore Independent. So sometimes these do make an impact, and good luck to both of you, and I hope you both win. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, does anybody else have any new business or anything like that?
Alice, just a quick question, since you're mentioning press releases, on the ones that were done, the endorsements done right before the COVID lockdown, are those going to go out as well, or were they already done, like for Elena and Mark?
The press release that I sent out most recently had all our endorsed candidates. It had Vinny in there for supervisor. It had Eric Swalwell and Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, because we endorsed them. I'm not even sure. I know we endorsed them. I remember the
Seems
meeting.
like years ago.
Well, it was last year, actually.
I know, I'm just kidding. COVID time. COVID time.
Yeah, but it was pre-COVID time. It was at a live meeting.
100 years ago.
And in fact, I had all of those candidates and their little pictures in the press release.
Beautiful.
So that, you know, every time you can just give an editor a little shove saying, hey, this person's running. It gets you a little bit more visibility, and maybe they'll write an article about it.
Just an update for you, Alice, and the club. Vinny was endorsed by our union last week.
Yay.
2015?
Yep.
I thought
Okay. In case you folks don't know, SEIU 2015 is the largest union in the state. So that makes a big difference. This is the home care workers, which John is a member of. Any other?
For those who aren't familiar with us, there's 800,000 members in our bargaining unit in California. We represent 38 different counties. Yeah, we're the gorilla in Sacramento right now.
Awesome.
Okay. So if you got a gorilla suit, John wants to borrow it. Okay.
Alice,
Not seeing any other business. Jeff, you wanted to say something?
I just had a question. Do endorsements that we made for the primary carry through to the general, assuming that the primary
Yes.
was victorious?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what happened with Vinny, in that all three candidates, including Melissa Hernandez and Bob Wachowski, got the club's endorsement. But Vinny is the last man standing, and he's going against a Republican. I couldn't tell you who it is, but.
The mayor of Dublin, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the mayor of Dublin. Halbert? How do you pronounce that, Sean?
I don't know. I barely know the guy.
Yeah. He's the guy with the big sash at that one meeting.
I'm supporting
Dublin
Vinny Bacon.
City Council, who I'm hoping to vote on an endorsement next month. What's that person's name?
The city council candidate?
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I've endorsed Mike McCorston. He's announced that he's running for Dublin City Council. So hope we can get him in next month for consideration.
Okay. Well, have him contact me. I like to speak to people on the phone. get everything, lined up, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
And
I've got another update for you. The Contra Costa Labor Council will be doing its regular endorsement process in early August. Those would be for candidates who have not held elected office in the past, because we've completed our early endorsement process already for people who had a prior history of endorsements and electability from us. So we get into things like the council race here in San Ramon on our consideration. So if you're running in San Ramon and you want to be considered for endorsement by the Central Labor Council, you better let me know if you want to be included.
Sounds good. I'll touch base with you, John, on that one. And by the way, I am endorsed by Contra Costa County Building and the Trades Council.
That's an important one.
Yeah,
They're half of the Central Labor Council.
Thank you.
okay, if
That's not the
Shri
Labor
and
Council.
Sandra would like to get in touch with each other, just get with me, and I'll give you the others' contact information. And I
Yeah.
think you're talking. And that's
I
one
would
of the
like to meet
values
with you
that come
first
out of-
before passing a name along.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the values that come out of this club, that we turn you on to other people who could endorse you. And in that vein, we'll probably see some more announcements of candidates running for office. And what I ask is, have them contact me directly and speak to me, not just send me an email saying I'm running. That won't do the trick. Anyway, if any of you want to nominate somebody for endorsement, that's what comes with membership. So it's not me deciding, it's any member putting somebody up for endorsement. That said, anything else, any announcements, anything like that?
Yeah, if anybody wants to figure out how to all get together and, schmooze with each other or anything, or plan something.
Call us on the landline. It's all on my signature, okay?
Yeah.
On
We'll do it on the
my
Astro
emails. Yeah, call her on the landline. Okay,
Alice, I got a scoot to take care of Sue.
okay, but
Yeah.
not seeing anything else? Bob, you got something to say?
No, just waving goodbye.
Okay.
Everybody
Meeting
ready?
adjourned.
Everybody ready?
Thank you all.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Good
Have a
night.
good evening.
Good night.
Good
Night.
night.